Hello there, this is Rom Wills coming back at you with yet another video. Beautiful women and select men. Beautiful women and select men. And this is something about the select paradigm that I haven't really discussed much. And it was I need to give honor to Master Yamache Morris. He was the one who introduced the select paradigm to me way back in the late 90s. And then I was able to take it and do some research on it, especially on the Mr. Goodbar archetype, to get an even further understanding. Now, when I say beautiful women and select men, remember this one thing about the select paradigm is based primarily on what beautiful women want. And that's one thing I don't talk about as much. And this is why, because understand something. There's a hierarchy among women. There's a definite hierarchy. I want to shout out Cousin T-Tal because he has pointed this out in his videos and also in his book, The Seduction Scriptures, when he talks about the queen bee. He talks about, like, you usually have a group of 4 women, there's a queen bee, and then, now it's escaping me what he calls a second woman, but then there's also at the bottom of it an enforcer. When you usually see a group of women together, there's a dominant woman. Now, how does that relate to the select paradigm? Understand something. Women decide who's select in that. Yes, a man can consider himself select or whatever, but women choose who they want to have sex with. You can be whatever, but a woman has to agree. It's like the legendary Jim, who I've quoted in my book, Nice Guys and Players. And he's a real person, by the way. He's a real person. He said, if you got it and nobody want it, you don't got it. I mean, and that's just something men have to deal with. You can say what you want about yourself as much as you want, and that's cool. But a woman has to agree with it. She has to want to have sex. Even if a man think you choosing the woman and the woman ain't choosing the man, yes, you choosing her back, but she still has to decide to have sex. Even when you approach her, she has to make a conscious decision conscious voluntary decision to have sex with. So that's the understanding. And the whole select paradigm is based on who women primarily going to go for. But ultimately, it's based on the top woman. It's based on the diva. It's based on who the queen bee wants. See, understand, the way women operate, they follow what the queen bee wants. It starts back in high school when the top girls, the pretty girls, the cheerleaders, the divas, they decide which guys are select and not select. Like if you had a situation maybe in high school where the top girls decide, well, the nerdy guys are the ones who are going to get it. Then the guy got to be nerdy. Well, guess what? The women below them are generally going to go for that. They're going to follow that. They follow that lead. So when I talk about select and non-select in my book, even though I keep it general just for here, it's really based on what a beautiful woman is going to go for. But see, a lot of guys don't understand that because a lot of men really ain't dealing with the more beautiful women. See, understand something. See, a lot of guys have this attitude that, you got to do all this to get a beautiful woman and everything. Well, let's put it like this. One of the things to remember about them is they still have sexual needs. They still have desires. And also, when you talk about the queen bees, the divas, they go for whoever they want. So they decided. So they want a certain type of man. And in general, the best type of man. Now, the thing is, it'll go down to what the man's sex appeal is, or if he fits what society considers like the top man. So, whoever's sexy to the women, and then whoever fits socially is held up as the top guy. Like when in Nice Guys and Players, you talk about select and non-select, but then even break it down even further into 2 groups in the select group and 2 groups in the non-select group. In the non-select group, you have the nice guys and the gamesmen. The nice guys and the gamesmen. And The nice guys, well, everybody knows a nice guy. Women only see them as a friend or a brother. Women aren't sexually turned on by them. They can be cool with them, particularly a beautiful woman. See, as I'm speaking, think in terms of who the dimes want. The attractive women, the 8 to 10s, who they going for. And believe it or not, they'll be real cool with a nice guy. They just won't have sex with him. Believe it or not, a true nice guy can at least be a true friend to these type of women. And you see that a lot. Sometimes when you see a beautiful woman out with an ordinary looking guy, sometimes it's romantic because she's turned on by him, but sometimes he's just cool to talk to, you know? Because she's on the top of the list. She's the queen bee. She's the diva. So she'll deal with him for that. And then there's the gamesman. When they dealing with that beautiful woman, only way they can really get her is they gotta be persistent. They gotta catch her right. They might have to find some psychological openings or something. And that's if they can even get them. Most of them can't get them. They're gonna chase. They're gonna be persistent. Indeed, a lot of gamesmen don't even bother with the beautiful ones. They cool with those like 3s and 4s. But even those 3s and 4s deep down really want, Mr. Goodbar. But all right, and speaking of Mr. Goodbar, that goes into the next level, the select level. Now, Mr. Goodbar is the guy who's going to turn that beautiful woman on sexually. Like I said, people keep forgetting they still got vaginas. They still want that hot beef injection. So, that's the guy who turns them on. And despite what some people think, when you get a really beautiful woman, they don't necessarily need the man to be ultra beautiful, like in the face. They really don't. Because one thing, women in general, well, first of all, if a woman's a dime, let's say she's a 10, how's she gonna get higher than that? Because you got some guys out here talking about, oh, they want that man who's real handsome, handsomer than they are and look better than they do. No, not really. And if they're a dime, how they gonna find that? As long as you decent looking to them, you within their range, that's all you really need to be. Because women, I don't care if they are 1 or they are 10, they want to be the beautiful person in the couple. All the man has to do is be like presentable, okay? Just in general. But anyway, like I said, as long as that dude is sexy, turns them on. He got a nice body. Because first of all, with a beautiful woman, first of all, they're going to choose who they want anyway because they got multiple options. Like you can hit them with game, talk all this stuff, but they got 30 other men doing the same thing. So they're going to choose who they want regardless. You can't force them. All right. So that's one. And then there's the masked man. Now that's more of a social thing. Now, definitely he has to look presentable. He has to look at least husband cute, but then also be able to present a lifestyle, have some money, all the social things. If you use the example of that show Sex Life, now even though both guys had money, the Mr. Goodbar type, Brad, even though he was doing all this stuff, had all this money, his calling card was more his sex appeal. So beautiful women looking for that. But then you got the other guy, Cooper, and you could say he was handsome, actually more muscular than Brad and everything. But he had everything good on paper. So, the beautiful woman, when she wants to settle with that type of guy. And this is a very key thing. And yes, looks matter. A man needs to be select. He needs to at least be husband cute, at least, at a minimum. Even some guys who look at another guy and say, why would she want him? You don't know how that looks to that woman. And let me say something about that real quick. If a man wants to make himself more handsome, he has the ability to do so. He can get a good haircut. He can fix his teeth. He can make sure, any dermatology issues, he can grow a beard. A man can make himself handsome. So there's really no excuse for a man to be just totally jacked up. It really isn't. There's plenty of stuff out there now. The male beauty industry and stuff, or image, and whatever you want to call it, is a growing industry. So there's always something, all right? But anyway, getting back to the main thing, it's what the beautiful women want. See, understand something. Like I said, one thing men have to understand, Just like there's a select and non-select among women for who they choose, we got our own. We just don't, even though it's generally thought that men just grab whoever, no, we don't. We looking for the beautiful women. Let's just be real. Let's keep it a buck, you know? Let's keep it a buck. Even though most men, they could probably get that cool 3 or 4. Let's just be real. Let's be real. Men want the 8 to 10 range. That's our select, and they icons. That's the icons. We're chasing the icons. But see, the icons, they chasing the select men. They chasing Mr. Goodbar and the masked man. And then the women are following what the women who are not the icons, the more plain Janes, average at best women, they following the queen bees. They following the icons, the divas. So understand that. Just if you understand that, then you see a whole lot. So for dudes who really want that beautiful woman, hey, one, get your social thing together, but get your body together. Let me use sex life for example, as an example again. The guy Cooper, people calling him whatever, but dude, the actor playing him was a model in real life. And that's how they going. But he also had money. He ain't had that sex appeal, but he at least had the other stuff. So to even think about the beautiful women, you gotta have one or the other, preferably both. And then that affects what the other women want because they are following the lead of the queen bee. Understand that. If you want to get an idea, the type of men ultimately that women are going after, chasing, try to get an idea, look at cheerleaders, look at the women on IG, look at the beauty queens, look at who they're going for collectively. And then that will give you an idea of the men who they consider, all women will consider select. All right. So anyway, and I know, it's a lot to it. And let's just be clear with it too. This is still a lot of nuances there. So this is still general. It's still general. You might be able to sneak in there, get that icon woman, maybe. But, it is what it is. All right. So anyway, that's all I got for today. I'll get back with y'all later. Peace and blessings.